We live in a world that's full of sensitive people. Like, the world we're living in right now is just a lot of things you can't say or do without offending somebody, obviously, right? It's just certain things you can't joke about no more, you just can't say. But that's not really the sensitive I'm talking about. People are sensitive in the sense that they are afraid of rejection. A lot of people don't pursue certain things because they're scared of hearing no, or scared of people not receiving it that well, or people just having something to say about it that they don't like. You can barely give somebody constructive criticism without them taking it offensively or feeling some type of way about it. They're gonna say you hating, they're gonna say all types of other stuff. People want to be surrounded by yes men. They want to be surrounded by people who are gonna just be on their side no matter what, whether they're right or wrong. People are too used to being rewarded for mediocrity. People want to be rewarded for things that just aren't good quality, and they want people to agree with it, they want people to like it. And it stunts people's growth when you don't receive the proper criticism, when you don't feel rejection like you should. It just stunts your growth. If you shy away from those things, then how are you going to get better at anything? It can be as simple as a dude trying to talk to a girl or wanting to talk to certain women and being scared to go up to them and talk to them. You got to do it. Walk up to the girl, talk to her. She rejects you, get used to it. It's going to happen a lot, unless you of the more handsome variety or stuff like that, or you got a good game. But half the time when you just really purely being yourself, you might experience rejection, and it's okay. You can't be so sensitive about it. You just take it on the chin and keep going. And it's the same thing with everything else in life. You're going to hear a lot of no's before you hear yes, and that's okay. People are going to critique you. People are going to say things about things that you do, and you can't take it as hate. At least give it some form of thought, process what they're saying. You can discern when people are hating on you, when people actually telling you something out of love. The problem with most people is they don't want to hear anything that goes against anything they say or do or create. They want it all to be positive, and that's not the world you live in. Don't nobody have to always come at you with positivity. People have different ideals, thoughts, and ways of expressing themselves, and people just accept things differently. That's just the world we live in. People process stuff different. People have different perspectives, and you can't surround yourself with people who don't give you no pushback. You cannot surround yourself with people who don't give you any pushback on your ideas or anything you create, because it's going to lead to you creating all this half-ass shit that you think is going to be accepted by the rest of the world. And when you ain't got nobody in your corner grounding you to reality, it's going to give you false expectations. You're going to go out in the world thinking that everybody's supposed to accept this, accept that, and that's just not the case. The quicker you can get used to rejection, the quicker you can get used to criticism, the quicker you can get used to failing, the quicker you can succeed, because it's all adding to you. It's not subtracting anything from you. Like, nobody, of course there are a lot of haters out there. There are a lot of people who talk down, bring negativity. It's a lot of them out there. It's a lot of people out there who just hate. Those are people who hate themselves most of the time. A lot of people, of course, it's a lot of miserable people in the world. So as soon as they see something, as soon as they see somebody doing something positive and trying to better themselves or get better at something, they're gonna come at you with some hate. That's to be expected. But there are genuine people who are out there trying to look out for you and trying to give you some useful feedback. If somebody is constantly hitting you with hate, then you already know what type of time they on. You can't always, you gotta block that. You gotta learn what to block out and what to take in. It's stressful, it's hard, but it's the process you have to go through when you're getting out there in the world and you're trying to do something different. But don't half-ass yourself. Don't half-ass your work expecting everybody to agree with it or accept it. Don't come with a half-baked opinion based off limited knowledge and research. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has the right to have an opinion. but some opinions are not rooted in anything factual or not. You know what I mean? They have to at least have some sort of, what am I trying to say? You have to come with an opinion that at least has some sort of research behind it, some facts. You know what I'm saying? Or just bringing your perspective to the table. But when you come and say stuff and then you already know it's just a half-baked opinion, it's just coming out of your mind because it's based off your feelings, and somebody offers you pushback, be ready for that. Even if you got a pretty good opinion, they still expect pushback because people have different perspectives on stuff, and be able to have those conversations without getting sensitive. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people online, the first thing they'll say is, I said what I said. Okay, but you said something pretty fucking dumb. You said something pretty stupid. You know what I mean? Those are people who can't, have a meaningful dialogue, who can't, have a conversation without being offended, feeling offended. Then they go straight to insults and whatnot. Those are sensitive people, very sensitive people. You put your opinion out there to be judged, and you put it out there for people to offer pushback. So when it actually comes, don't get mad about it and throw these little childish temper tantrums. Be ready to debate your opinion. You can do it without hurling insults at people. You can do it without getting sensitive, getting your feelings. Because most people, what the internet has done is gave so many people a platform to just say anything they want to say, that it's created people who just feel too safe behind their phones. They feel too safe. They feel so safe making all these faceless opinions. You know what I'm saying? They're not face to face with anybody. It's making them too comfortable to say stuff they wouldn't normally say in person. So when somebody calls them out, they get real sensitive about it, especially since everything online is seen by everybody. So people's first instinctual response is to say something negative back, or come back with if somebody posts an opinion and somebody offers some pushback or some feedback on it, or you know what I'm saying, or even just post something they're working on like music or art, and somebody comes along and they don't like it, or they offer some critique or some constructive criticism. Some people's first instinct is to tell them off or say something offensive to them because they feel offended and they so sensitive they can't take it for what it is, and they feel like it's all these other people watching. I can't let you talk down on me in front of all these people. But really, that's not what it is. And some people with it, that is what it is. Now, don't get me wrong, but use your discernment to know who's actually talking to you to offer you some good advice, or learn how to have a conversation to understand how other people think instead of rushing to conclusions and insults. If people could talk to other people to understand rather than to just talk, the world would be a different place. Have a conversation to understand why somebody thinks the way they think and why they chose to do certain things that they chose to do. And if you can, even if y'all don't fully agree with each other, if y'all can if you can leave that conversation learning something new about somebody else's perspective, then that's good. It can give you insight onto how a lot of other people think. You know what I mean? It can give you insight into a lot of stuff. And I just think people are way too sensitive these days, and way too, I don't know, just in their feelings. Everybody's in their damn feelings about everything. And like I said earlier, you got to get used to people who just not accepting you for who you are. There are millions of people in the world who think, act, talk like you that will accept you. But there are millions more who just won't mess with whatever you got going on. They're not gonna like your music. They're not gonna like your opinions. They're not gonna like anything you bring to the table. And that's okay. Don't be afraid to be rejected by people. You know what I mean? People are gonna reject, like I said earlier, people are gonna reject your opinions. They're gonna reject your art, your music. They're gonna reject a lot of things about you. And that's okay. There are people who will accept you for who you are, but if you go around looking for acceptance and whatnot, you living your life all wrong in the first place. When life ain't about being accepted, it's about being you to the utmost and expressing yourself in the highest form without regard to whatever people say, whether it's good or bad. And you should be focused on getting better and actually getting better at whatever you decide to pursue and do, and train your mind to point out negativity and point out constructive criticisms. You know what I'm saying? You miss out on a lot in life when you walk around just with you on defense mode all the time. You can't walk around with people who gonna coddle you and feed your ego. It's not how life is. And you just gotta know when to keep yourself in check, you know? And even when things are going good and like you being accepted by a lot of things, doors are opening for you, that you might hit a brick wall at some point. Don't let your ego run away from you when things are going good and then you hit that brick wall. Because when you hit that brick wall, you know that your ego gets so big, you think nothing can happen to you, and then when it happens, you spiral down out of control. Keep your emotions in check. Don't be so sensitive. Don't be scared of rejection. That's the world we live in. I wish we lived in a time where, you know, you could do and say certain things without offending certain people. Like I said, it's a lot of people who hate, who don't want to see you shine. You might have a certain light about you. People that's closest to you probably try to dim it, try to tell you things that you don't need to hear, or that you know, just bringing negativity, negative energy. You know who those people are. Those are obvious. It's obvious when people are just Debbie Downers and bringing negative energy and not trying to better you at the same time. You know who those people are, and you know when you're able to separate those people from the people who are actually telling you something and the people who are actually trying to have a meaningful conversations, then you'll be less sensitive. And when you open yourself to new information and be open to learning from people, you have to open yourself to be able to learn from others, or else you're gonna always walk around thinking your shit don't stink and thinking that everything you say is reality, which is just not true. Swallow your pride, turn your ego down a little bit to be able to accept things, to be able to see things that are helpful for you in other people. Swallow your pride and turn your ego down so you can have conversations with people who can help you look at things from a different perspective and help you learn more. Your brain is wired different than anybody else's. Nobody is like you. You are unique. And in that uniqueness, everybody is unique. Everybody has a different brain that's wired way differently. A lot of people are similar, but nobody is one and the same. And it pays to have conversations with people who are willing to offer you that perspective that they have, so you can learn more and see things in a way that you probably can't see it because how your brain is wired. Be open to that and you will live a good life. I mean, you know, you won't be so sensitive. Rejection won't be so hurtful for you. You know what I'm saying? You can accept failure better and learn from it instead of letting it drag you down forever. And that's it. And who am I? I don't know. I probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of speculating, and some things are from experience, research, some things I get out of books. But the thing is, the bottom line is, I feel like, you know, people got to be more open, and being more open make you less sensitive. Being more open to other people's opinions, stuff like that, will make you a less sensitive person. You won't be so bent on being accepted by everything, and you won't be putting out half-ass work because people done been in your ear bigging you up, or you've surrounded yourself by these people who don't do nothing but praise you even when you putting out mediocre work or getting mediocre results. You know what I'm saying? You have to surround yourself with somebody who's gonna keep you grounded and be open to listening to them. Because you have to, whatever you decide to do, you have to get better at it so you can be the best, if that's what you aim to be. You can't be the best and you can't be better if you don't have somebody that's realistic with you about the results that you're coming up with. You can't get better if you can't see the problem, because nobody's perfect. Nobody's just coming off perfect doing whatever they're doing in life. They have to go through fuck ups to get to a certain level. That's just how it is. So that's pretty much all I had to talk about, man. Go out in the world, tone your sensitivity levels down a little bit. You'll be all right. That's it for this video. Peace out.